Hello students, in today's lecture we'll continue with the organizational behavior concept in which we are going to learn the nature of OB and scope of OB. So let us begin with nature of OB. Um, the first point here is a separate field of study. As I'm telling you right from the beginning, that OB is, of course, a separate discipline. In various universities and educational institutions, it is being taught as a separate subject, and it has an interdisciplinary orientation, and many of the disciplines, many subjects have contributed to for the development of organizational behavior, and so it is a separate field of study. Many researchers are eager to study OB as a separate research. It is looked as a separate research field where researchers are very eager to find out why individuals and groups behave in a particular manner. So finding those causes and applying that knowledge for betterment of the organization is the objective of any organization. So we can say that, of course, OB is a separate field of study, a separate discipline, though it is a combination of various other subjects or disciplines like economics, psychology, anthropology, political science, sociology, but still it has emerged as a separate discipline, and other disciplines have just contributed their knowledge for the development of OB. So we can study OB as a separate field. Okay, so that is the first point. Second is, again similar to that, it is an interdisciplinary approach. It is OB is so called because it studies human behavior, which is based on integration of knowledge from various disciplines like psychology, sociology, anthropology, political science, economics, and they are all used for studying and analyzing organizational behavior. So we can say that OB is a good combination of various all these subjects or disciplines, and their good integration has made a development of OB more accurate. Okay, so we can call it as it is an interdisciplinary approach. That's the reason for it. Okay, then third point over here comes is that OB is an applied science and art. Of course, OB is an applied in nature, because here researchers are trying to solve the human related problems, human behavior related problems, and of course, it's impossible to find simple and universal principle which will explain OB. Okay, because human beings are unpredictable, they are complicated, but still OB has tried its level best to offer reasonably accurate explanations of human behavior, and to solve these organizational problems related to human beings or human behavior is definitely a skill or art which is required. Okay, so here we can say that, of course, it is a science because researchers are considering it as a separate field of study. It is interdisciplinary. So many experiments are going on. Even though we say that human behavior is unpredictable, but up to certain extent OB has made it possible to predict human behavior, right? So we can say that all the features of science are included in OB. Therefore, the first part over here is that OB is, of course, a science, it is an applied science. At the same time, we also say that OB is an art, because handling people, tackling them, and solving the problems related to human behavior is definitely a task of a skillful task, we can call. So therefore we can say that, of course, OB is also an art, because you have to handle so many people. Now people come from variety of backgrounds, different families. They have been brought up in different culture, their upbringing is different. So handling variety of diversified workforce is, of course, a big challenge, and it's, of course, a good skill or an art to handle people, isn't it? So OB is, of course, an art, because you are handling people, you are solving organizational problems related to human behavior. So as like management, in management we also proved that management is an art as well as science, because all the features of science and art are present in management. Even though we say that management is a social science, it is related to human being, but of course it is a systematic study of, or it has emerged as a separate discipline. In the same way, OB being the part of management, it has also emerged as a separate discipline. A lot of research has been conducted in OB, even though we are dealing with human beings, and human beings are quite complicated, their behavior is unpredictable. Even though OB has up to certain extent made it possible to solve organizational problems and accurately predict the behavior of human being. So we can say that of course it is both art as well as science. The next part over here is normative science. Of course, OB is, OB finds out the cause effect relationship, that what is the cause and what is the effect of that cause, right? So, using that, you can easily predict human behavior at your workplace. And it is also called as normative science because it lays down certain norms for handling human behavior. What is to be done, how the human beings are to be handled, these norms are laid down by OB. And therefore OB always consider the cultural norms of individuals and groups in the society, and accordingly these norms are being laid down in OB. Therefore we call it as a normative science. That's the reason behind it. Okay, then next part is it's a humanistic and optimistic approach. Now, when do you call it as a humanistic approach, or why do you call OB as having a humanistic approach? Because OB treats employees or people in your organization as human beings. That means human beings or employees are not treated just as a factor of production, or they are not considered as a machine. They are human beings. They have feelings. They have they have their own independent thinking. Their existence, their freedom it means a lot, isn't it? So OB treat people as human being, and therefore this is humanistic approach which is adopted by OB. Also, it is based on belief that people have desire to be creative, independent, and productive. That means OB believes that people want to be independent. They want that autonomy to be creative, apply their creative knowledge for organizational work. And OB realizes that, or OB believes that, if proper working conditions and proper conducive environment is provided to people, then what will these people will work with work wholeheartedly. They'll make use of their potential, they'll give their 100%. And this kind of positive approach OB does have, and therefore we say that OB is having an optimistic approach. Okay, so both approaches are involved in OB, humanistic as well as optimistic approach. And last one is a total system approach. A total system approach means it integrates all the variables affecting the functioning of the organization. Okay, so there is no any simple one cause or one effect relationship in human behavior, because human being is a complicated complex. Human beings are complex, and therefore it is necessary to consider many variables, their interrelationship, their combined impact on behavior. And this requires a total system approach to understand and control human behavior at work. That means here, as I again and again I'm telling that human being behavior of human being is complicated. You can't predict it exactly. You'll have to study so many variables. That means you'll have to study their attitudes, values, beliefs, the background in which these individuals have been brought up, their neighborhood, their families, their educational level. Everything has to be considered, and then you can you can find out the impact of certain factors on the behavior of people, isn't it? So this requires a total system approach. Okay, so with this we end with nature of OB. Then we'll see what is the scope of OB. So what sort of things are included in OB, that we'll see. In case of OB, it studies three basically factors are studied or included in OB. They are individuals is the first one, second is group of individuals, and third is organizational structure. Okay, now one by one we'll see. The first one is individuals. So in individuals, what are we going to study, or what sort of factors are necessary to study individual behavior? Okay, because organizations are associations of individuals. Okay, and whenever you have to study an individual, you have to study the aspects like diversity in organization, attitude and job satisfaction, what sort of attitude your employees are having, and when can they get job satisfaction. Okay, what are the factors which lead to job satisfaction that you need to find. What are the emotions and mood swings. Okay, you will have to find it out. Their personalities, okay, what sort of shades their personalities they do have, what sort of values they have in their life. Okay, then next one is, of course, these points we are going to see one by one in deep or in detail, we'll be studying it. Then next is your perception, learning and individual decision making, because individual decision making is based on perception, how you take that situation, how you look at that situation. You are learning about that situation and then you'll reach the decision. Okay, so these three are interrelated: perception, learning and individual decision making. Okay, and last one is motivation. Of course, motivation as a separate topic we have learned various theories regarding motivation in the last semester. Also during the first year of BCom you have studied this. So motivation here, what factors motivate the employees. Okay, there are financial factors and non financial factors, so that also comprises the part of individuals. Okay, then next, in group of individuals we are going to study the aspects like whenever people come together, individuals when they are working in work teams or in group, what is the foundation of group behavior. What is the understanding of work teams, how their team spirit is being developed, how they work together, what is their source of motivation, what are their norms and rules regarding the behavior at workplace. Then what is the communication, how is the communication in between the team members, in between the group, among the individuals, with your superior, with your subordinate, with your colleague. What sort of communication medium you use it. Then leadership here, it means that which leadership style you have adopted. It is whether it is autocratic, participative. Last semester we learnt about leadership styles. So which leadership style is very effective for a group of individuals, or for which is responsible for group behavior. Next is power and politics. Okay, and then another point is conflict and negotiation. Okay, so again in conflict we will be learning conflict, interpersonal, intrapersonal conflict among two individuals, among two groups, conflict between two groups, two organizations. So what are the reasons of conflict and how we can resolve the conflict. Okay, so with that we are going to study it in detail. So this is about groups of individuals and the aspects related to group of individuals. Then the last part is organizational structure. So here this study includes foundation of organizational structure. Second is organizational culture. Culture, we are going to study it as a separate topic, where we will study that how a strong culture is built in the organization. As like there is a culture in every family, in the same way there is a sort of culture in every organization. So what is that culture? What do you mean by a strong culture and weak culture? What is the difference between that, and how culture affects the behavior of the individuals and groups? And next one is organizational charge, and last one, stress management. That also will be learning it as a separate topic. In stress management we will learn that what are the symptoms of stress, how we can find out that your employees are continuously under pressure, and what are the symptoms of stress, and what are the remedies for stress management, that will be learning. Okay, so this comprises of the scope of OB. So with this we'll end with today's lecture. Thank you.